want to make sure we all. The parking lot I'm going to direct you to, by the way, I'm going to tell you to put in your GPS, go to the dentist's office in Allentown, and then turn after the dentist's office into the park. And anyone who is not interested in photographing in the park, and it's a lovely little park, you are, oh gosh, very close to downtown Allentown, and you can walk through the park to downtown Allentown if you would prefer to photograph buildings or water or, you know, the mill or whatever. So hopefully we'll see everybody one way or another on Sunday. So it's going to be a big day. Thanks, Matt.
No problem. Lynn, you want to announce our judge?
Okay, are we ready? I'm sorry, I don't have my video on either. I'll turn it on in a little while. So our judge tonight is Tom Cuchara, and Tom did judge for us last year, as did his wife Lisa. And Tom had asked me to just let you know that tomorrow night, April 27th, from 5 to 6 p.m., there is a free event. It's nature, bird, and night photography with Lisa Cuchara online, like I said, tomorrow night between 5 and 6, rather 5 to 6. And the registration date, address will be put online by Matt. Join award-winning photographer and OM system ambassador Lisa Cuchara as she guides you through exactly how she takes her stunning photos. So, Matt, you are going to put that up on the chat, correct?
Yeah, as soon as I can access my email.
Okay. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Tom. Tom is an OM system ambassador, photographic craftsman on NEC. He's very active in many local, national, and international photography organizations. He's past president of the New Haven Camera Club and of the Connecticut Association of Photographers, and he is currently a vice president of the New England Camera Club Council, the NECCC, as well as co-chair of the 2018, 19, 21, and 22 NECCC photography conferences. Tom sees his photography as a way to connect with the world. He also believes his photography talents should also give back, so he volunteers for events, different events. His photographs have appeared in magazines such as Adirondack Life, in calendars, and on calendar covers. His images have won awards at the local, state, national, and international levels. Tom met his wife, Lisa, via photography, and they have published 2 books with Amherst Media. And those are also, that link will be put up on the chat too. They're also known for their expertise in photography and Photoshop, and for their inspirational and informative photography workshops. And then they have their own photography website, which Matt also will put up. And Tom is going to put up a few of his cemetery photos, and he's going to do that now. So let's all welcome Tom. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to share my screen. I have, let's see, share. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So this was taken at Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. We've been leading workshops there the last couple of years. This is a fun place to photograph, and you do star trails and a lot of light painting. And let's see, I got another couple here. And sorry about that. I was Had it all lined up, and now all of a sudden they're gone. Yeah, it's Sleepy Hollow. There you go. A lot of characters are buried at Sleepy Hollow. This is one of the guys who's buried there, and he's a huge mausoleums, and they bring people up at you do walkabouts, you know, and they have the lanterns, and I like to photograph the people with the lanterns against the cemeteries. And it is a lot of fun. They just kind of stand around and they move. And we've been doing a lot of light painting with them, and sometimes I'll ask them to do a circle around. This is the guy that he always had a fight with, and he built one right across from him. So there's a whole history, and there's a lot of dynamics with these people that are buried. A lot of rich people, but this is a gentleman that we light painted, and this is what it looks like during the day. So at night you get a different effect, and it's just a lot of fun, you know, to be there at night and during the day and get something different than you normally wouldn't have. So that's it. Anybody interested or want to talk about you know, light painting and things like that, just let us know.
Very
you.
interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me share.
Matt?
Alright. We have, let me just find our groups here. All right, group 1, we have 6 images. I'll do a quick flip through.
Group 1 is the beginners, is that correct?
Beginner group, correct.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Computer's not cooperating.
It's iced over, Matt. Well, you got my bad pun. Good.
All right, there we go. All right, group 1 needs a first, second, and third. Here we go.
I give it a 7. I like the maker's ability to get low in this picture. It does have some impact because it is low and it's isolated, and it's you know, you're wondering, you know, how old this stone is, and obviously it's been broken before, and kind of sad, you know. But you know, these old headstones are very intricate, and they're very fun to photograph. One of the things you can try to do in the future is, if you can get back there when the lighting is lower in the horizon, you can create more shadows on the sides or and behind it, because you know there's a tendency to want to flat light these things, and this does not call for a flat light. But I like the fact that you got really low, and that's always important for things that are short. Nice.
Complete trust.
Hey, 8. I like the composition of this picture. The image has impact. I like the way the person processed this. He did a very nice job. I think he did a nice job getting the entire statue in the frame, and you didn't cut anything off. but you cut off the bottom part, which I think probably wasn't necessary, to have it in in this image. And I think that was a wise move for this image. Um, I just like the juxtaposition. It's just so in your face that I really like it. One thing you can try to do in the future when you're close like this is if you got a wide angle lens, there's a tendency to use wide angle lenses on these structures because you can get in close and tight. But if you did use it, you use a shallow depth of field because a wide angle lens does have a lot of more depth of field than say a telephoto lens. And you would be able to blur the background out just enough so your eye doesn't want to travel around to see something that is also sharp. But you did a wonderful job with this. I really like it.
Old Tenant Cemetery.
Yeah, 9. I really like this picture. When it came up, it just reminded me of something very, very old. I know the building isn't as old as the maybe the cemetery is, but I like how you processed it. The tombstones are, I think, right in the foreground where they need to be, and you have the church in the background. It's a cloudy sky, so your eye wants to go to the stones and to the church. You did a nice job processing all the white, and you got enough shadow detail, I think, in the trees and in the tombstones. You cut out the road, which was really nice, and it was nice job.
Cranbury Neighbors.
Eight. I like how the maker was incorporating some of the modern life and culture in this picture with these old tombstones. You know, I it's a hard one to do, and I think without the title, I wasn't sure how to score it, but I glad you did merge the two time periods together. Um, in something like this, always look for the unusual and another way of composing it. If there is something that is modern, maybe you isolate that with a tombstone rather than just a big picture. You know, Sometimes we want to see the big picture because that's what our brain is seeing. But in reality, when you get the picture back, you say, well, what was I shooting? What was I looking for? What do I want people to look at? In this particular photograph, without that title, I wasn't sure what I'm supposed to look at. But I think you did a nice job, with the exposure. I think showing people what it is, the juxtaposition between old and the new.
Still with you.
And 9. Nice job with this one. I like the exposure. There's hardly any shadows in this image. Not that you really needed them. Um, there is enough light on the statue, that you would want to you wouldn't have to worry about any of these shadows. Shadows always make things a little more interesting, But in this case, I think she dominates enough so the image has impact. The sky isn't distracting, and she fills the frame pretty good. So you did a very nice job with this image.
Old Tenant Cemetery glowing.
I give this a 9 too. I like the glow effect on this. I like the composition. I think this is a good use of using a different technology, to enhance a photograph. I think sometimes we forget to play, and but sometimes it doesn't have the impact that you really want it to. But I think in this case it does. I think maybe you could have toned it down just a little bit so it's not a lot, but I like what you were doing with this. I like the composition. You don't see anything that is new, no roads, no trees, no electric lines. So you did a very nice job in your composition. Wonderful picture.
All right, we have 3 9s, so it's first, second, third from those. As soon as I find the right mouse. You should be able to see thumbnails at the bottom.
Yep.
This is image 1, image 2, and image 3.
I like image 3.
This is first.
Yep.
All right, and I need second and third. So you have 2 left and 1 left.
I like the lady statue.
Ladies.
Yep.
Which one's lady?
Yep, still with you.
That's number 2.
2.
Yeah. This is number 3. All right, we'll review this contest. As I get this window out of my way.
Third place. Old Tenant Cemetery, Karen Zoller. Congratulations, Karen. Second place. Still with you, Zena Motley Weaver. Congratulations, Zena.
All right, we're going to move to group 2, which we have 6 images in that. We'll go flip through them real quick. All right, and here we go.
Tombstone Tones.
A 9. I gave it a 9. Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to talk? I apologize. Been a long day. I like the composition. I like the tombstones in the front, the juxtaposition of the white and the dark brick, and the clouds and that little stray of light in the background looks really, really interesting. This was a hard one to isolate, and I think the maker did a nice job composing it. So it does have impact. We as judges like to see, and you did a good job with this.
Heaven Bound.
Seven. I like the image. I like the color tone. You know, you had a nice white balance going on here. It looked a little difficult. I like how you were able to, try to isolate this and get most of the structure in. But there is a house in the background that kind of pulls my eye to it because it is white and it is kind of like the brightest part of the screen. And you kind of want to eliminate those distractions. But you did a nice job with the light is evenly balanced, and I do like the subject matter. So nice job.
Family History.
7. I think the maker did a nice job in centering this in the middle. It's this is something that it's a photographer's choice. You know, how do you compose it? But I think it did a nice job. I like what you did on hiding the background and having it nicely out of focus. I think my only technical piece is, you know, you cut off part of the cross, and I think that needs to be part of the overall scene. You know, you can almost read the letters, and they are very difficult to read anyway. So, but I think you did a very nice job with that.
Upright stones.
Eight. I like I like what the maker was trying to do with this image. I think you were trying to make it, you know, look, you know, you wanted it upright, and you wanted it to look at the juxtaposition of how, you know, these tombstones are, some are straight up and down, and some are leaning, some are falling, some go backward, some go forward. So I think you did a nice job in this you know, this composition. One thing you could try to do is to make it stronger is to kind of angle the camera or move to the front a little bit and try to get the left side to kind of diagonally go across the screen, maybe in a horizontal fashion. And maybe you could eliminate maybe the American flag back there in your composition, because it does distract a little bit. But that's something to think about, and if you can do something like that. Um, you know, when you do these things that you want to go up and down, I think you want the endpoint to be still up and down, or you want it to be out of focus so your eye goes totally on the main subject, which is the stones. But I like what you're doing here. Good job.
Gone too soon.
A 9. I like what the maker did. This is a very well handled image, not distracting. You know, it is a very sensitive subject for anybody losing a child, but you did a wonderful job in your exposure. I like how you didn't quite have it centered; it's a little bit off centered, you know, in the frame, which is nice. The background is not distracting, so we did a good job with this.
Epitaph written in stone.
A 9. I like the choice of this monument in the cemetery. I think really interesting. You have a good eye. I like how you were able to post process this. It's got that little grungy look, but it's not too overdone, in my opinion. Um, Maybe the background could be a little bit softer, you know, but I think, you know, you're trying to kind of use your vignetting on this to kind of dampen that down. But um, I think on the stone itself, I think it works. But I think on the background, I think the post processing could have been toned down a little bit, so my eye goes right to this the stone because it's so dominating. But I like what you did. Nice.
All right, we have 3 9s. So we need a first, second, and third from these.
That's first.
All right. And we have this image and this image left.
I like the second image. That one.
All right. Now review this contest.
Third place, epitaph written in stone, Walter Blitz. Congratulations, Walter. Second place, Gone Too Soon, Patricia Curzel. Congratulations, Pat.
All right, we're gonna move on to group 3. There's 24 images here. So we need a first, second, third, and 4 HMs. All right, here we go.
Solitude.
A 7. Even though I gave it a 7, I like the simplicity of the image. I like how it just stands alone. You know, the cross in this field, you know, on a hill, you know, at a cemetery, and it's just the only thing there. I would recommend that you would crop it and crop that building out and just leave the cross there and not have anything else, because I think that alone will tell a more powerful story. Because my eye will stay on the stone and it'll kind of want to look for other crosses or stones or monuments or tombstones, you know, that would keep it company. But right now it's competing with, you know, the building in the foreground. I'm sorry, the background.
Hoffman Hill.
The 7. I like the composition. I think the maker did a nice job in with the tone and getting the colors of the sky and the clouds. I think a little more light could have been you know, brought on the actual, you know, the Hoffman Hill Cemetery, you know, and maybe you could have cropped it a little bit more to the on the left side and cropped that headstone out and just isolate the name and the stone that's next to it.
Death comes in many ways.
I'm giving this an 8 because I like how the maker was using our culture, technology, and that title alone. I know when we do PPA, titles mean a lot, and it does help judges understand your state of mind in this picture. But I think in my read of this is you got modern technology, you got the industry, and then you have the tombstones, and you got that title, and I think that says it all. Very very nice use of words, and combined well with this picture.
Lone Blue Tomb.
Nine. I love the color. I is a very very intricate you know, headstone. It's wonderful wonderful artwork. You know, I like how the fact that the maker was able to isolate everything is sharp. It's straight up and down, so he did a wonderful job. And you don't have to have it straight on. You were actually, you turned, so you're just a little bit off center, and I like what you did. The thing that I would recommend in with these new cameras now, again, if you can blur the background, you got a house in the background that can be very distracting, in these photos. And 2.8 or f4, up close might blur it sufficiently so it's not as sharp. Something to think about.
Away we go.
9. I think the maker did a wonderful job isolating this headstone. I love it, and you captured a moment in time, where just that, the reflections and the colors, and it just matched the sky. Um, you know, I don't know if the sky was reflecting off the grass, but it did take on the color, the red color. So I don't know if that's real, or it was just a little bit more processed than you would want to, but I'd like it. This one does have impact. So wonderful. Looks like a wonderful man there.
Harriet.
8. I do like this picture. It's very simple. It tells a nice story. This person's alone. It is well. The lighting is well handled. There's sufficient, out of focus in the background, and I think the maker did a nice job. I like the fact that the headstone is a little off center, which is great. And I would have recommended you maybe bring it down a little bit lower so there's not so much of the trees, but that's just my personal taste.
Coliseum Cross marks a medieval cemetery.
9. I think the maker did a very nice job with this image. You didn't have the cross merging with the Colosseum, and it was nicely placed in the left side of the of the frame. And I think the clouds really do it justice because you toned everything down, and it gave a certain mood. So you did a wonderful job. Something to think about if you wanted to, you could always flip it. And you like to read left to right, so maybe flipping this, try it next time and see if it looks a little better. But you did a nice job with this. Like it.
Section A, Normandy American Cemetery.
7. Such a solemn experience to walk in the cemetery. It's just so powerful. The maker captured something, that it can be seen as very, very emotional, for some people. And so you did a nice job. I like how the crosses, the lighting on the cross was handled. I think in this particular image, I think the background was just too dark, and I think isolating a row of the crosses would have been better, or just crop the top off so I'm not looking at a lot of black in the picture. But it's just very solemn that you took this, but I do like it.
Loved, possibly forgotten.
8. Again, this is another situation where the title helps. This is a very old cemetery, and obviously, it is in disrepair. and Mother Nature is taking over. So I think the maker did a nice job in capturing this feeling of old and nature taking over. But thankfully, they are not forgotten.
Never forget.
Nine. Wonderful job composing this image. I like how you were able to get the headstone in the foreground right in the middle, and your eye has a place to go. The sky looks really nice and blue. Nice exposure, throughout the image, and the image is sufficiently sharp from front to back. Nice.
Halloween in Sleepy Hollow.
The eight. An interesting interpretation. The colors that I know, the colors of Sleepy Hollow are really wonderful. The photograph and I kind of like the little twirl you did on this image. But something like this, maybe you just have the images, I'm sorry, not the image, but the lighting more even and do more of a twirl on something other than the trees, or if you have something stationary and the trees are in the background, and you did the twirl, that would be kind of interesting to try. But I like it.
Still looking over you.
Seven. The rainbow really does it for me. It's really interesting to see that rainbow over this cemetery. Um, you know, it this is a hard one to isolate because I'm not sure exactly where I'm supposed to see, but I know it's in the foreground. But then I look at the buildings in the background, and you got that rainbow, which I think is really cool. I don't know if the maker could have gotten a little lower in the ground to the ground, and so you can hide the hill, but you would still get that rainbow. But I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I this is a very interesting looking place.
Resting place on hill.
The eight. I I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do with this picture, but I'm giving the maker the benefit of the doubt because I like the composition a lot. It's very simple. However, I would have given it a 9 if you had just cropped out the sky completely. And in my opinion, just cropping that sky out would have eliminated some of the editing, what appears to be some editing errors on the left and on the right. I don't know what's going on with that blue hue, but maybe it could have been post, but it gave it a different feel, which haven't seen. But I kind of like what you were doing with this image, but I like the feel of the tombstone on this hill. So
Blinded by the light.
eight. Very interesting shot. I like the backlit. I don't know what's backlighting it, and I don't know if it's the actual sun or something. It probably is because I could see a lot of reflections, and maybe there are lots of things that are reflecting purposely, but I don't know. But very interesting.
Cross at your own risk.
Seven. Enjoy looking at this picture. It does look a little lonely, but it does look like an old time cemetery and has an old time feel to it. So the maker did a nice job, with that. I like that road, it kind of leads in. Having that sign there looks really nice. But I think if you could have moved step forward a little bit and still included the road, maybe that would have, you know, helped with the overall feel of this image. Getting rid of that pothole would have helped, but I think, this is a judge's personal choice.
In the shade of the 600-year-old oak.
A 9. Like the composition. I like the wraparound feel of that giant oak over the headstones. Did a nice job with this, wonderful eye. Everything is sharp and you want to see it sharp. I like seeing that giant oak just kind of leaning on the ground the way it is. It looks really, really, ominous, but also the way kind of protecting the stones. But I like the eye of the photographer. He did a wonderful job here.
Floral display.
Nine. I love this shot. Very, very nice, very sensitive. Maker has a good eye in finding this. I like the fact that you got low and low enough that you actually are able to hide other tombstones, and you got a nice sky that's really not distracting. And even though the sky looks a little boring, you got the trees, but you also are able to, eliminate a lot of that sky, so it didn't dominate this picture. One thing you might want to do with this shot would be to kind of brighten up the actual stone because everything is too flat lit. It kind of helped draw your eye in and brighten up some of the, the carnations and not the carnation, but the little flowers on the left. It'll help bring your eye right to where you want people to look. A nice job. Love this shot.
Through the cemetery gate.
9. I just like to feel this. You're gonna kind of walk right in. You got those clouds, but very ominous and dark, but at the same time, this is a big field that you're in, and I like half that, abandoned church structure that will look really, really cool. So and the fact you did this in black and white was really nice. So you did a nice job with this. Good.
The king is dead, but rock and roll never dies.
Eight. You're lucky to get there. I know my sister would love visiting Elvis. Um, but the colors are nice. I like the way the maker composed this image. He did a nice job. You can get all the resting areas, Elvis and his mother and everything, and father. So I think this is a very touching and telling picture. But the thing that you gotta, I don't know if you were able to do this, but you cut off part of the, of the, the teddy bears and that metal on the lower left. And I think that kind of takes away, the competition quality picture, that you want to see. You want to see everything clear, and you don't want things cut off if they don't have to be cut off. But I like what you did with this.
The Cemetery of Tennant Church.
Eight. I like this composition. It's very interesting. The like the church where it's placed, you got that headstone in the foreground, very, very well placed in my opinion, and everything looks sharp. I think the green and the skies look a little bit oversaturated. The green, it looks too green, and I think you got to tone it down, and I think you could also brighten up some of the shadow areas, in this picture. But I like the overall composition. The clouds are great in this shot, by the way. She did a good job with this.
Whitmer's Sunset.
Nine. I think the sunset makes this picture, but what you got here is a nice combination of isolating the headstone, and you have a use of a wide angle lens to include the sky and other headstones, and you do see that separation between stones. So it is a nice shot here. It's well handled. I think the stone in the corner it makes it balance, and you got the beautiful sky to boot. Good. Nice job with this one.
Remembering.
8. I like what the maker was trying to do, use the two trees to border this image. I think it was, a well-handled horizontal picture. It's just a good shot. You might want to consider, maybe cropping it a little bit lower, maybe to the, to the big tree limb, crop it to where the shadow begins on the limb. That might be a good place to end, the crop. So there's not as much sky in the picture.
Roadside Haunts.
8. Very interesting composition. I really like this composition. There's a timeless quality to it. I think the takeaway for me is I think there's a little bit too much post-processing going on, and everything just is a little bit too much. For my taste, toning it down, even leaving it as black and white is perfect for this shot.
To the Top.
I like the diagonal. I'm sorry, the make it a 9. I like the diagonal, look to this picture. The maker did a nice job in including the ladders, and ladders being wood is very interesting. You can almost read, the writing on each of the little cubbies, where I guess the urns are kept, but very interesting. The image is sharp from front to back. Colors are well handled. Sky is nice. Good job with this one.
All right, we have 9 nines, so we need our first, second, and third out of those. This is number 1, number 2, number 3, Number 4. Number 5. Number 6.
Mhm.
Number 7. Number 8. And the 9th one.
Um, let's see. How about the cross in the Coliseum?
This one?
Yep.
This is first?
Yep.
All right. Need a second and a third.
Leave it at Whitmer for second.
This one here?
Yep.
All right. Need a third.
And I like the headstone with the heart.
This one?
Yep, mayor.
All right. And then we need 4 HMs. Uh, 6.
What do you need again?
All right, they're all gonna be HMs. We'll make it easy for you.
I'm sorry, Matt, you were cutting out. I apologize.
The rest of them are gonna be HMs. And we'll review this contest.
Okay.
Honorable mention. Lone Blue Tomb, John Curzel. Congratulations, John. Away We Go, Ed Hornica. Congratulations, Ed. Never Forget, Fred Appelian. Congratulations, Fred. In the Shade of the 600-year-old Oak, John Curzel. Congratulations, John. Through the Cemetery Gate, Wendy Sison. Congratulations, Wendy. To the Top, Valerie Williams. Congratulations, Valerie. Third place, Floral Display, Ed Hornica. Congratulations, Ed. Second place, Whitmer's Sunset, Matthew Rank. Congratulations, Matt.
All right, we're gonna take a 5-minute break here at the library. I'll open up the chat and also the mics. So you'll be able to chit chat among each other in 1 second here.
All right, guys, I have one really quick announcement. It's about the newsletter. I've been doing my best to turn around and bring stuff to the newsletter, get stuff to the newsletter. Every month I ask what, people to contribute. And pretty much I'm hearing crickets. And honestly, I can't do it all. Okay? Because it takes just setting up that newsletter, it takes anywhere between a week and a half to get everything in there and get everything set up right. And it changes every month because there's different size pictures in it every month. I need something from you guys, either ideas of what you want to see in the newsletter for articles, or maybe write a quick article, but I don't want it to come down to, because this month it's coming down to, it's going to be pictures and whatever next month's contest, speaker is and competition. Because honestly, I don't mind putting the time into it, but this is your club too, and you have to put a little bit of something back into it. Like, I can only do so much. I work a full-time job, I work a part-time job, and I'm doing this for the club to try to bring you guys something once a month that will, you know, give you some incentive to get out there and shoot. But I can't do it without any help. So that's all I wanted to say. The newsletter is going to be pretty much whatever kind of feedback I can get from you guys, and the monthly competition pictures and next month's information. Thank you.
All right, you unmuted, Lynn?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You sound like you're getting sick.
Me? No, just
Oh, all right.
tired.
Do we have Tom? Tom here?
Yep,
Mhm.
I'm here.
All right, we're to group 4. We have 16 images. We need first, second, third, 3 HMs. We'll go through them real quick. All right, here we go.
What's 7? I love the composition of this shot, with the does. It's very nice and just wonderful telling. I'm not sure about the post-processing on the overall image. You know, animals can look funny if you post-process them in a painterly way. You got to do it just right. But I love the composition on this, and excellent capture.
Disrespect.
Eight, I think this tells it all. It is disrespectful and interesting composition. You know, you really hid the other buildings. So, excuse me, it's not distracting. So good job with this one. Colors are brilliant, and it really does tell the story.
Old monastery.
7. It is nice. I love the colors. You know, the composition is, I think, a little difficult to read unless you were going to look really down on it. And the model lighting that's going on, it can be a little challenging to get a really good composition. You know, unless you used a you know, light diffuser, you know, to even out the light. Something to think about in the future. But when you're in these situations, I just kind of drill down and single out a certain part of the scene rather than the entire scene.
Broken Heart grave marker.
The 8. I like the composition. I like the juxtaposition of the red and the browns and a little bit of gray. So Maker did a really nice job. I think to enhance this image a little bit, maybe blowing out the background a little bit more, where you literally are isolating, you know, the main subject.
Toplift cemetery in the rain.
The 9. I like this picture. I love the colors. I love what the maker did. I like the you know, the fact that the maker was lining, you know, was catching, you know, the colors and the moss and the trees and everything looks so, it looks old but fresh, and it's very interesting, you know, color balance here. I think in this case, I think you could easily have cropped just the 2 tombstone and even the top of that tree, just to isolate things, but use that as a background. You know, something to think about.
Cathedral mausoleum.
9, I got a very interesting perspective, and I think when you're really confused about what to photograph, this is a perfect example of isolating and simplifying your image. One of the things you could try to avoid is some of that graininess in the background, and I think that could be some chromatic aberration that's going on there, but maybe using like denoise, topaz, or pure raw to kind of handle some of that excess noise.
In memorial.
9, very very simple image. Colors are well handled. It does tell the story. You don't always have to read the name on the tombstone. I think the story in and of itself tells, it with the tombstone, the American flag and the marker, it says it all here. Nice job.
Creepy cemetery.
Eight. Very, very, it does look creepy. I like the fact that it's done black and white. I don't see many hot spots in this image. The fact that it is black and white really makes it, gives it a feel, an impact. You know, I think maybe a slight little vignette on the edges would kind of create a tunnel vision to isolate. So you go to that one tombstone that it looks like you want the maker to, or the viewer to see. I also maybe try to crop a little bit off the top, maybe just a little bit more, I think you got a little bit of room there and maybe on the bottom, but you did a nice job with this.
Buried twice and forgotten.
Eight. Very interesting. I again, without the um, without the title, I wouldn't know what I'm supposed to be looking at, and it is, I guess this is important, but it is an interesting composition, and the title helps me understand what the maker was seeing. I think I would give it a little bit more room, and so a little bit more context, in this picture, to tell a little bit more of the story that you want to tell.
Hallstatt Cemetery Bone Chapel.
9. This is a macabre image as it gets. It is very interesting. I think it is a part of our history and the culture, in the country that you're in. This is a good example where maybe you didn't need to have the cross fully, in the frame, because you have a shadow in the background. So I liked how you did that, and I also liked how that you moved your camera over a little bit, so you wouldn't get that the candle merging with the shadow. So you did a nice job with that, and it's a small detail, but I think it's an important one to consider.
The mourners.
9. I like this image. It just says a lot. People just sitting there, just does look very European or East European. Very, very well handled. It doesn't bother me having a little bit of hot spot on her veil, but I would say that that's a part of dealing with street photography. Um, Faces are not blown out, which is very important in this. Nice job.
New amongst the old.
Eight. I like what the maker was trying to do with this particular image. You did a nice job in trying to isolate, the American flag and the tombstone, and it looks very new amongst the old ones. Um, I think maybe in this case, the you could get lower and maybe you could crop more into the cross because it's old, you can see it, it's colored, it's discolored, and the part of the cross would not merge with the flag. So by getting lower, you might be able to isolate that part and get a little bit more separation. But I like what you did in this.
Paying respect.
9. I very interesting juxtaposition. The animals are always around us and they're going to go where they want to go. And I like how you personified this particular image. Just be careful of the over processing the animal. I can see chromatic aberration on the oyster catcher. So again, maybe the noise or pure raw would help in this particular image to bring back some of those colors so they look more natural.
Old cemetery.
And 9. Hey, well handled, very sharp. I like the colors. I like the juxtaposition of the old cemetery and the house in the foreground. Very well handled. And it does look very close and compact. So I think you did a nice job with that. This one. I like how you cropped it low, and you didn't just not only you left the buildings in there, it did give it context of where the cemetery is actually located. So you did a wonderful job.
All in a line.
8. Nice composition here. I like it going right to left. I think you maybe in this particular image moving over a little bit so you can eliminate the stones on the upper left. So the 5 in the front are isolated. Would have been made this a much stronger picture.
The vampire crypt.
Eight. It does look old. It does look like a Bela Lugosi movie, and or Boris Karloff. Very, very nice. I like the composition because it does tell the story. Somebody could be walking in. I think what it needed in this particular case is cropping some of the building on the left side and then using a lighting tool or opening up some light on the door would make this a stronger picture. So your eye would really go to that part of the scene rather than that whole front looks like it's in the same color and shaped. Something to think about.
All right, we have 7-9, so you need a first, second, third out of here. This is image 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th.
That's number 1.
The one we're on right now?
Yep.
All right.
And I think the ones with the skull are number 2.
This one?
And like number 3 is the one with the first one, I think, with the 2 tombstones and the orange tree.
This one?
Right.
All right. So that makes this an HM. This will be an HM. That's an HM. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we'll review this contest, and then we have one more task for you, and that's the best of show.
Honorable mentions. Cathedral Mausoleum, Harvey Birnbaum. Congratulations, Harvey. In Memorial, Linda DeAngelis. Congratulations, Linda. The Mourners, Deborah Aniano. Congratulations, Debbie. Paying Respect, Lynn Padway. Third place, Top Lift Cemetery in the Rain, Lynn Padway. Second place, Halsted Cemetery, Bone Chapel, Joe Gilchrist. Congratulations, Joe.
All right, I'll put together the best of show here really quick. All right. So here we have the 4 first place images from the 4 groups. And we need one for the best of show. This is image 1. Image 2. Image 3. And image 4. And I can go back to whatever one you want to look at further.
Can you do a run through again?
Uh-huh.
It's very hard. It's good for you guys.
Luckily, your car is not outside, so.
I like this as best to show.
The one with the cross?
Yep.
All right. We'll review this contest now.
Very nice. Very nice images. And just so you know, I live in California.
Old Tenant Cemetery Glowing, Karen Zoller. Karen, would you like to tell us about your image?
Karen, can you come up and tell us about it? Hold on one second. You get first place, you have to tell us about your image. That's the joys of first place. Hold on, she's here in person.
Well, I just love the look of the old Pennant Cemetery and the really old tombstones, and I tried to just make the image look a little more eerie. And thank you very much.
Congratulations. Old Cemetery, Harvey Birnbaum. Congratulations, Harvey. You want to tell us about your image?
Valerie, can you unmute him? Wait, maybe I can. There we go, found him.
Okay. Well, this photograph was photographed in Israel. That's it.
Short and
Wait.
sweet.
Thank you, Harvey. Congratulations.
Thank
Was
you.
this a best of show, Matt?
No,
Okay.
coming up.
Tombstone Tones, Rich Polk. Congratulations, Rich. Want to tell us about your image?
I think Rich is not online. He's not here.
He's
today.
not there.
He's not here.
Okay.
Here's the best of show.
Best of show. Coliseum Cross marks a medieval cemetery. Marianne Morton. Congratulations, Marianne. Want to tell us about your image?
Unmute. Ah, okay, here I am. Matt unmuted me. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I took that in Rome, obviously. And I had in a competition at one other point, and the judge had mentioned a few things to fix, so I fixed them, and there you go. What can I say? I just, highlighted some things and, took out a little bit of distraction, and I thought it was a good shot when I took it, but the information helped. So obviously, so thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. That concludes our competition. Anybody who wants to unmute themselves, they can. You can continue to chat. We're gonna close the Zoom here at the library so we can pack up and be
Remind
back again.
everybody about the chat, that they can get the address from the chat about
Oh, yeah,
tomorrow's.
Tomorrow's Zoom with Lisa is in the chat, so make sure you check that out. Maybe Lynn will email it to everybody as well.
Hey Matt, certificates am I still doing those, or is somebody else taking care of them now?
Nope, they're
Sure.
being taken care of.
Okay, because I don't think I got mine from last month.
I should have.
Okay, I'll check again.
Tom, thank you so much for your
Oh, yeah.
comments
You're welcome.
and your
And thank you.
critiques. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank
See
you,
guys
Tom.
tomorrow.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Tom.
Bye-bye. guys.
Okay.
Bye, Matt.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Hey Tom, by the way, that Elvis shot was mine too. If you're still there. Just want to let you know. I don't think he's still there, but whatever.